Let's start the podcast.
I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
What the hell's going on out here?
I need an intro. You didn't. Let's intro. Let's make it a.
This is the Two Owls, One Pod Podcast, formerly the Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast. How was that? It was your turn, by the way, to do the intro.
No, I like when you do it. So that was good. It woke me up as I woke you up. Let's tell the people. We were doing a 4:00 record on Friday. I'm on the where am I? I'm on the Icon of the Seas, and Al is in Port Canaveral, Cocoa Beach, Florida, overnighting for a couple nights. And at the 4:00 record came and went, and then I gave him a call at 4:05 and said, "What up?" And he said, "I'm just waking up. Give me 10 minutes."
I was watching CNBC, and I was watching Bitcoin.
That'll put you out.
And then I looked at my Bitcoin app because I just have a little chunk, and it's up like 120%.
Really?
And I'm like, what do I do? I've had it for 11 months and 2 weeks. You got to wait for you got to wait for the 365 days in a day, right?
I don't know. You have to wait a year to
well, because you'll pay only 15% versus 33% in tax. If I were to sell it all.
Are you selling? Are you getting out?
I don't know, man. It's not that much money, but it's when you're
up.
You're supposed to.
It's like gambling. It's gambling.
You're supposed to sell a third. A regular stock, you would sell a third if it's up 20% or more, and then if it pulls back, you put it back in. That's the theory. But I'm not trading it.
Right.
I'm just owning it right now, I guess.
Okay.
It's up to 62,000 per. Well, they're saying it's going to be 100,000 by the end of 2024, but then they're saying, but the government's going to come in and take over.
What government?
Regulate it.
What government? Our government? Have you seen our government? They're not doing shit.
What's going on with our government?
Our government. Get out of here. We got fucking aliens are coming. It's all over. We're going to be fighting the aliens by the end of the year.
Okay.
There's war. That's why Space Force was built. Your President Trump knew what was happening. He built a space force to fight these green fuckers, and that's what's about to happen.
They approached him when he was a teenager, and they put something in his brain, and he's under their control.
Oh, I thought Jesus created him to save the world. That's another theory I'd read. Yeah, he was brought by Jesus, but who knows? We don't know. What do we know? We don't know. You're in a hotel in Florida. I'm in a.
We need to be. We're entertainers, and we're being entertained for a change. So that's.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not, I don't want to get political. That's fine. But I'm not a fan, as most people would realize, of Trump, but I enjoy watching his rallies.
Oh,
he is funny.
He's entertaining.
He's funny.
He's got the stand up. He's got stage legs. He's got
100%. Did you see the other day his prompter went out?
He doesn't read the
45.
He hates
without
the prompter. They keep telling him, read the prompter. When he goes off the prompter is when he's in the moment and he's at his funniest. And
the lights were too bright. He could only see black faces. He can only see the black because of the eyes. He was like, I can only see the blacks. Like he was like, he has no idea. Like, this is racist and shitty. I can only see the blacks. Love it. And then he did an impression of Biden. If the prompter went out, he did the whole thing with Biden. I mean, he was doing impressions.
Yeah.
He's doing stand-up.
Well,
I was digging it.
Biden he's kind of like a mummy at this point, right?
Ooh.
It's hard to watch, man.
He looks weird, man. When they take those shades off him, that his face with the Botox and the old age, it's fucking scary.
Well, yeah, because he's had the mini facelift. He's had some what do you call it? Implants, hair follicles. Yeah. He's had all the work done. And he really does look like a puppet, like Weekend at Bernie's at this point. He
looks like the guy from the Hannibal when the third Silence of the Lambs movie, and when the guy's face has been eaten by Hannibal, now he invites him over for dinner. Whatever that guy, that's what Biden's face looks like now. It's like, geez, it's creepy as shit, especially without the sunglasses on.
What about him? What about him eating ice cream? Did you see that?
That's weird. Yeah.
He's in the ice cream shop and he's licking the ice cream, and they come in, let the press in. I'm going to be licking ice cream. And they start asking him in Texas about going to the wall and all that, and he couldn't answer. He was like,
No.
It's like, don't interview him with ice cream. It was
That
bad.
was the
It was a
guy
bad look.
for people who heard last. That was the guy who hit me in the car. That was the guy. That look, the guy who backed into my car was that look of I'm 83. I really don't know where I am. I need someone to help me here. Meanwhile, this fucker's driving. But that was so take that guy and go, hey, you want to run for president? I mean, it's insanity, but it's where we are, man. You know what I'm saying? So 2 days for you. Cocoa Beach.
Yeah, Cocoa Beach, the blue collar white trash capital of this area, I think.
Well, it was something back in the day when NASA
I
was
Dream
a
of
thing.
Jeannie.
I Dream of Jeannie. Shit, yeah. You can drive right where they did all that filming. You can still see those houses. They're the same way they were in 1962. You know, they haven't changed a thing. But that was a booming city, and then NASA moved and got out of there, and
went to
everyone
Texas,
just
right?
dried up. It was like there's nothing here.
Now they have the museum.
Making a comeback now because it's the largest cruise port in America.
It is, and also Skylink. Elon Musk fires his satellites from the launching pads in NASA.
That's true. That is true.
We're using it right now.
But for 2 days, there's not. I mean, there are worse places to stay for 2 days, but there's not a ton of stuff there.
No,
you know,
I did my scouting already. I talked to other people. Within walking distance, there's an Italian restaurant called Zarelli's. Zarelli's, I'm sorry.
I know it.
I'll be dining there. Oh, you know it.
I've had dinner there. Yes,
I'm having dinner there tonight, and just
it's okay. It's okay.
I was already
told. Not great, but
they said for that area that it's a walking distance. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, where are you? Have a glass of vino because
you're on the main road there. You mean
Buddy Al doesn't drink on the ships.
Oh, you don't. You drink on the ships, don't you? You don't drink. I thought you did.
I've drank on the ships many times. I'm saying I'm not drinking on the ships. I'm doing an Al Romas. I only drink at home. I only drink with my lady.
My lady, my lady was on here last week, and
didn't she win like 50 grand?
That was a different lady. You can take the win out of there. But she went home Saturday, and her friend from Michigan had flown in to watch Teddy. And so then her friend said, I'd like to go to Siesta Key on Sunday if we could. So Kelly, was like, oh, sure, we'll drive to Siesta Key. We'll take Teddy. It'll be a beautiful walk on the beach. Very nice. So anyway, they were walking there in Siesta Key. They're on the sidewalk, walking, talking, got Teddy on the leash, and then a golden doodle with another couple walking toward them. And
also Kelly on a leash?
Also on a leash. And Kelly and her friend are talking, and no big deal. And the dogs are sniffing each other a little, and it's all, seemingly okay. And now they're talking to those people. Oh, you're a beautiful dog. Your dog's cute, blah, blah, blah. And then as dogs all of a sudden, and Kelly thinks Teddy's going to get hurt because the golden doodle's bigger. So she puts her hands down to save Teddy, and her two hands go right into the middle of the two dogs with their teeth, the whole thing.
They have it for lunch.
Yes.
Wow.
So she got both hands mangled up, chewed up, and then the people were like, "Oh my God!" And she was like, "No, your dog's fine." She thinks she doesn't know who bit her. It could have been their dog, could have been Teddy, because he was in the midst of freak out.
No, you just pull on the leash and you pull back. That's what you do.
Well, she stuck her hands in there and a little chewed up. We got a picture right here. Let's put a picture of Kelly's hand.
Oh, you're making me do work. She was trying to protect her baby.
That's right. And I, would do the same. I mean, because Teddy's not big, but if he's not tiny, but if next to a golden doodle, he's large. But imagine having this conversation in like the 80s and going like, yeah, the cockapoo got into a fight with a golden doodle. You're like, excuse me, what the fuck are you talking about?
Why are you swearing at me? Are you making fun of me? What did you call me, pal? Did you call me a cockadoodle? What?
It's like an Asian slur, Yeah, there was a golden doodle walking down the street. What the fuck? I can't say that.
You can't even do the accent anymore. Golden doodle walk down the street.
Well, we can. We can. We have low enough numbers. We can still do shit like that and hope. We just want someone to grab it and go, look at these two fucking
and we go viral.
fucks.
And and we get fired like Shane Gillis did, and then we go back and host.
That's right. That's all we want. So fucking do it.
He became a millionaire by getting fired. SNL, being fired from SNL in his case was the best thing for his career. And he has a Patreon, right?
Oh yeah, I think he's the #1 Patreon.
More than Dylan.
Partner. Yeah. I think they were #1 last time I had looked at stats.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they were #1. So
they do
Tim Dillon's up
and
there.
Sketches.
Right. I think he's got 2 though. I think he's got a podcast, and then he's got the sketch YouTube channel, and he's got a series coming out on Netflix in May, like a scripted series about tire. I think it's called Tires, like tire salesman.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Did you see his monologue? I saw his monologue on SNL. He talked about having Down syndrome in his family, which gives him license to report on it from Truth. And people attacked him for making fun of Down syndrome. And he wasn't. He was saying, I got it in my family, and he was talking about his.
He just missed it.
It grazed me. It grazed me. He goes, and I think it's wonderful if you have a Down syndrome person in your family. It's
wonderful.
He said it's wonderful. He said I'm paraphrasing, like a gift. You're lucky or something, and he meant it, meaning, it's in his family. So, and then that gave him license to say, give his opinion, and I thought it was pretty funny and well said.
It was good. It was very good. It's from his act. It's old. It wasn't anything new or anything. And people are like, he should have done something new. It's like, who are
first
you?
Of all,
who are you to say that? Though
the audience that's watching him,
years.
Yes,
they have never.
The
heard
audience that is watching him doesn't know who he is.
Right.
So he has his 1 million followers, and some of them have seen that bit, whereas the 12 or 20 million that are tuning in haven't.
Well, that's why comedians, all these young comedians, young kids, they think, oh, you do the year, shoot a YouTube special, and then you have to start again. You have to have whole new act every year, like Louis C.K. model. But it's not true. And I remember seeing, I think it was Tom Papa was talking on something on the pod, but he was saying he did a special, and then he's like, I got to now start from scratch. And he was talking to Seinfeld. Seinfeld goes, why? And he goes, well, I shot a special. It's on Netflix. He goes, so what? How many people do you think are going to watch that? Honestly, in the world, how many are going to watch it? When you really think,
this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you don't have to have a brand new hour every year. You know what I mean? But some guys, they do.
Burr is doing it, but these guys are addicted to it. So Bill can't turn it off. As you know, we brought him on here for 10 minutes, and he ended up staying an hour and 20.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's like, shut the fuck up, Bill.
We had to go.
We were so excited to get him on here. I asked him. He said, "Yeah, absolutely."
Yeah, and I was outside doing it.
And they were like,
the sun was setting. I had to go.
You had a show.
Like pitch black. I had a show. It was pitch black out. I'm like, I got to run. I hate to.
Hey, Bill, can you wrap it up? We don't want to become too popular.
Here, yeah. This guy's fucking yappy here. But anyway, yeah. Well, Burr does that. But even those guys, I haven't seen Bill Burr live in many, whenever. But what I hear is like some of his friends will go to see someone who's big, and I'm like, did they do only new material? And they're like, no. It was like 20 minutes new. There was a lot of stuff I've heard. Yeah, and so all these guys go, and I go on the road with all new material. It's like, no, you don't. It's not all new.
Jim Gaffigan, he'll get it going, but he's a slow roller. He can take a story but he does write a lot. But he'll get people calling out.
His wife does.
His wife is
his wife writes.
Yeah, a lot for him.
Yeah.
And
you should have that. Your wife's a comic. She should be writing for you.
I agree. She should stay home and write for me.
No shit. Cook a nice cake, bake, learn to bake, and write for Al. I think that's a win-win for you. And
100%.
But these women, you can't talk to them, man. No. There's no talking to these broads, I tell you. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
The perfect idea. But all right. How are your shows, by the way? On What the hell were you on? I forget already. Allure.
Allure. They were great.
How were
We're
your
in the old
shows?
comedy club, and to me, that club is magical.
Mhm.
So, with the exception of that one bachelorette party, which isn't even bad, there was one other show that was like they were tired. They did the beach all day, and they came in the first show, and they were like,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
But the rest of them,
That
pretty
was a good
good.
impression of the audience. I've had that crowd. I know that crowd exactly.
You know they're enjoying it, but they're not. You can see they're
Yeah.
all red, overexposure from the,
Right.
and they're still drinking. Their eyes are heavy. They're like, you know.
I get it though. You know, when Kelly was here, we had the drink package, and there is something to just going to a bar, getting a drink, not paying, a couple sips. I didn't care for that. Go to another bar, get another drink, whatever, and walking around with a drink always. And so I wasn't working. I think I would have had to just been that way. The only thing saved me was at shows, but
Right.
it's very, very easy to go down that road. Why not?
Yeah, my niece and
not?
her husband came on a cruise in 2019, and
Hanley Wenches.
he was all about the drink package, and she was preggers. She wasn't drinking, so he got the drink package. Dude, he goes, I think I had 27 beers today.
Yeah. Well, you got to make your money. Got to make it work. Got my money's worth here. Yeah, you got to try, but good luck. We did our shows and the other night, and I do this joke about my dog Max and his ACL surgery and all this, and so there's two black ladies front row left, and they were fun for the other two guys, and they were lively. So as I'm doing that joke, they're going, no, 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 mm-mm-mm, mm-mm-mm. I go, what? You don't do the surgery? Mm-mm-mm. We're from Detroit, 313. We don't play. And I go, you don't play? What does that mean? You don't play? You don't save a dog's leg? Mm-mm-mm. Dog can have three legs. Nothing wrong with that. I've seen it. Three legs. I go, you cut off his leg for an ACL? She's like, I cut it off myself with a saw. We don't play in the 313. I'm like, Jesus Christ. What? And they were joking, but not joking. You know what I mean?
Were they leaving? Were they getting up?
No, they were enjoying the show. Why would they be getting up?
I thought you said they were getting up and saying that.
No, they were just in their seats. But they're very animated.
Right. I had
yeah.
I'm assuming she was from the United States. She was
maybe from the 313.
I don't know if she was from the 313, but I'm doing one of my sound effects of the horse, and I'm going
the horse,
and she goes, "What the hell was that?" And I started howling because the whole place just bursted out laughing.
What the hell?
But it gave me 4 minutes of just.
That's all you want, of course.
On her alone.
You know what's crazy? This room is so good, the comedy room, but I'm so used to the other rooms on Oasis type where people come in and out of that door, and I have so many not pre-written, but things to go off the person who comes in late, the person who leaves early. And I don't have any of that anymore. It's like, you know what I mean? I feel like a chunk has been taken from me because I like, and especially when the show's dragging and I can go like, oh, you're going to walk out on me, and I go off on that shit.
Right.
That eats up a lot of time, and it's funny, and it gets them back. Sometimes I've had a dead crowd. Some guy goes to the bathroom and I can get them back by just mocking him leaving. But this room they're in, nobody leaves. The whole show's 50 minutes.
Your buddy Al is very familiar with that scenario, actually.
With people walking out.
It's almost like, oh, thank God. Normally I'd hate it, but if it's a dead crowd, if they're lethargic, it's.
I thought you meant you were very used to people walking out. I didn't know what you meant by that. I was like, well, that's sad.
No, that scenario. I said, whatever happened to you, I'm familiar with it. And
I see.
When you have that tight crowd, whether they've been on the beach all day, and then that all of a sudden perks them up, it's a welcome situation.
And I get it. Like last week, I did, tourist type that we went to Coco Cay, we went to Cozumel, we went to Coco Cay, Customai, I meant, not Coco Cay, but both of those. And you do that stuff, and then you come back on the ship and you eat. You're tired. I had to do shows, but you know what I mean? I get it. If you're drinking and going out all day, then when the show's at 8 o'clock or 8:30 or 10:30, you're not exactly, chipper. So I get the crowd being a little tired, and if you don't really bring it, you can lose them. I mean, you out here, you got to really have a little energy and have a little, I mean, I've seen guys who just, they low key it, or I'm going to sit down this one and talk to you. Well,
I'm gonna pull up
you're
the
going to lose the
chair,
crowd.
the stool, the
Yeah.
stool sitter.
Yeah, we're doing
Yeah.
15, 20
They
minutes.
all
Try to
turn to
stand up.
Chappelle.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, sitting and banging the mic on the knee. It's like, no, don't no. But people have been out all day drinking in the sun, and you're sitting down. Don't be shocked if the audience is a little draggy, a little sleepy. Just gotta bring it. As Richie Minervini would say, they need huffers and puffers. He thinks out here you got to really walk on stage and bang and bang and bang. It's not for subtlety. The Cruise Comedy Club.
Well, certainly for the theater.
I tend to agree with that.
What about the theater? It's a bigger space.
Different. If it's full, then you can go at your pace. But if it's, a half full, or like tomorrow or tonight, we're doing it 10:45 in the theater. The last night, people
You're
get
only
off
doing
the
one
ship early
show
tonight. Yeah.
They had us do 2 last night at the theater. Unnecessary.
Really?
Yeah.
2?
First one was nearly full.
Right.
And the second one was half full because it was at 10:30.
Wow. Adult or
4-day cruise.
Yep. Right. But I've never done the 2 on the final night in the theater. I mean, that's one seating is plenty for that.
I've done it before. They had the family show like at 6:30, 7.
On the final night?
Yep. Many times. On the big ships, on the comedy club ships. Yep.
Well, on comedy, okay.
I was accustomed to it. And when they had one, I was like, really? Only one? Wow.
I'm used to just the one final show, Friday night or Saturday night.
I think they've been trying different things with the 3-day, 4-day, and the 7-day. So they're trying to find the sweet spot. But I haven't done the 16 or 17 shows in a few years.
There's no more. It's 13 now. That's tops.
Do you remember 17? Do you remember
I do.
that? Like 2018, 2017, they were doing 17 shows. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right. Well,
they had three midnight shows. What?
When Oasis came out, and I wasn't doing them yet, but they did 21 shows. They did 3 a night, 7 nights a week.
Shit.
Yes.
Talk about losing your mind.
Yeah.
Because Steve Smith said that's too many shows. That was back then.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's too many shows. That's too many shows.
It was crazy. It was crazy. But then they whittled it down. It was 17 for a long time. And now it's 13 on most of them.
I'm okay with the 13.
It's fine.
I
can't complain.
I'd rather do 10 or 12, to be honest.
The only issue I have with that room that you love on Allure is when it's full, there's nowhere to sit. There's nowhere. You're in the way.
They reserve 2 seats over there by the door, and you're with the audience. You're in the audience.
Yeah.
I don't care for it either, but
I don't care for that. But like on Icon, we have a green room. We can it's great when your show's over. You can go in the green room. People leave. You can hang in there between shows. It's nice. It's finally they got a green room because Oasis is the worst. They have a booth where the DJ would sit when it's a nightclub. You just stand there like an idiot.
And the sound person pushes a button. He just pushes a button. There's no reason for him to be there.
No, and then he looks and he plays Candy Crush and shit on his phone for 40 minutes. Mm-hmm. But you're in the way, and then people sit on the step, and you go, when you're excuse me.
They keep letting people in. There's no seats left. So it's standing room only. And inevitably, somebody comes over, sits on the steps of the booth.
Every time.
And I go, excuse me. And they go look over, and they try to scoot over. I'm like, no, you got to get up.
Yeah, that's a step, lady, and your ass is as big as that step. So you're going to have to get up and move. Yeah. And then there's 4 scooters in front of that. You got to get through the scooters.
I hate it.
It's like, come on. What are we doing? Meanwhile, there's a real stage in the room with a curtain that we're not allowed to use. So we're on a shoebox.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, the Oasis.
There is a whole space back there.
I'm going to be on that thing in June. That's what they're using in Europe as the President's Cruise. Like, why does that make sense to anyone?
I don't think the audience notices it.
Notice it? They don't think so?
I think
Don't think they
you and
see
I hate it.
Maybe.
But maybe the brass will say, "Hey, what the hell is this?" and try to put it back over in the corner, which doesn't work.
I don't know. I'm
Right.
just surprised that that's the ship they chose, and in Europe. But you got to find your. I don't know. We'll see. See what happens.
Do we have any questions today? By the way,
we do. We have a question today, sir. We do.
Oh, I got to do I got to do the special. Okay, there it is.
This is from Dave Clark 6, which I found interesting because do you remember the Dave Clark 5?
Well, I don't remember them. I heard of it.
Oh.
Isn't that a band from the 50s?
60s.
60s, okay.
They were part of the British invasion. They came over after the Beatles.
I'm not
Glad all over. That was their hit.
Right.
So anyway, this guy's a fan. Or else his name's Dave Clark. I don't know. Anyway, Dave Clark 6. What is the most memorable moment in your career? Whoa.
Wow.
Most memorable. Are you going to say when you saw me on the lore and we filmed the Two Dicks?
That's one of them.
All right. Good.
It's not the one. There's a few of them.
Whatever. What else you got?
No. Well, you answer first. Let me hear what you have to say. Why are you putting it
I'm throwing it out to you. I have a few in my head. I mean, I worked Radio City Music Hall. That was pretty cool.
But here's the thing. With the questions, you have them. You're privy to the questions in advance. So you already formulated your response. This is fresh off for me. And I'm like, I just woke up from a nap and I didn't jerk off yet. So I'm in a different frame of mind.
Well, who wakes up from a nap and doesn't jerk off? What are you doing? You gotta take that minute and a half and then call me. You jerk off your left hand? What the fuck? That's weird.
The Dick Clark 6. He's not happy with this response so far. All right. Radio City Music Hall. That's pretty good. Grand Ole Opry. I performed there.
When? When was that?
Well, 25 years ago.
Oh. Why was that? How did you get on the Opry?
None of your business.
Did Patsy Cline bring you on?
Yeah, Patsy Cline brought me up. No, I was...
How did that happen? Give us a story, Alfred.
I think I told that one time before. I did the Crook and Chase show, which was their version of the Tonight Show down there in the South.
Oh, yeah.
And I did two of them, 2 episodes. And they flew me down, they put me up, and I performed. That was the night that one of the country singers came on. They asked me to do my shoot-up bit that I was doing, which I still do. And they said, yeah, we want you to do that bit. You didn't do it. We want you to do that shoot-up bit where you come out shooting and you're shooting guns and shoot bullets, and we love it. I said, okay. And then just before I came out, the country singer said, yeah, we're raising money for the victims of the shooting.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I thought that was the night Kennedy got assassinated, and you were like, fuck, I can't do my bit. I can't do my shoot-up bit.
Similar.
You know what I mean? I'm implying you're old. Yeah. All right. Well,
no, I saw that, but you were basically implying my story that I just told you.
You ignored it.
No, it was a good one. It was really good.
Did you enjoy the Opry as a performer? I've heard it's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I also did a college showcase there, so it actually wasn't one of my first times. It was my 3rd time there.
College showcase at the Grand Ole Opry?
Yep.
The fuck? It seems
NACA.
like it shouldn't.
NACA
NACA shouldn't be anywhere near the Grand Ole Opry.
I agree.
That's ridiculous. I don't care for that.
But they rented the joint out for a weekend when there was nothing going on, and they made a killing.
I get it. All right. So that's a memorable one for you, the Grand Ole Opry. What else you got? I got only because my sister was there. I worked with Seinfeld, and my sister came, and my parents, and my brother-in-law, and that was fun, and that's one of those things that kind of lived on, so that was very memorable. If you're saying he said memorable, so memorable. Working with Seinfeld at Bananas in Fort Lee, New Jersey.
Who are these people?
Ridiculous. Yeah. And I think I've told this previously, but he liked my joke about I did this Q-tip joke, and he goes, "That's really funny. I like that." And then I didn't do it the second show. And he was like, this guy watched. And then second show, he goes, why didn't you do the Q-tip joke? And I go, I don't know. Didn't I? He goes, you didn't do it. He goes, that's a good joke. He goes, why would you forget that? He was looking
because
at me like,
you had just told me you liked it. That's why.
Yeah. But he looked at me like, you got one good joke, dude. Do it.
The one I emphasized, you didn't do. But that happens all the time, right?
Yeah. And then, but I did that weekend. And then Wednesday, I went to Stand Up New York as a audition or whatever it was. I forget what was that when you just went in to audition, I guess, to get on and be a regular.
Yeah.
It wasn't really an audition showcase. Thank you. And I finished, and then when I ended, Kerry Hoffman, the owner at the time,
Coffee breath. Hey,
yes. He's doing a Sinatra tribute show now.
He's
a Sinatra guy. Oh, really? It's
uncanny.
Strange. Yeah.
If you close your eyes, it doesn't look like a Jewish man up there singing.
You can smell the coffee even with your eyes closed.
You can smell the coffee Breathman. The late Kevin Meaney. Let me jump in with the story just to explain to the listeners.
I'm in the middle of a fucking. All right,
we're gonna let you finish it. I just with the reference, I'll forget it. Kevin Meaney coined Kerry Hoffman, who is the owner of Stand Up New York, Coffee Breathman, because he always had a cup of coffee and he'd be sipping and talking to you, and he'd get really close to you. So it was a very funny visual and experience to be smelling the coffee from Kerry Hoffman, Coffee Breathman. Go ahead.
Very accurate. Very accurate. And I came off and I was walking out because, those things no one ever says anything to you. You don't know what you're doing. I'm just like, all right, I guess I'll leave now. And he goes, hey, come here. That joke with the Q-tip. He goes, you can work here anytime. And I was like, holy shit. So I think Seinfeld saying that gave me more confidence when I delivered that joke, because it's like, oh, Cherry likes this joke. And then Carrie saying it, and of course I don't do it anymore, because why would I do a joke that? Well, I got to change up the act,
You got to. Oh.
I never. It's so stupid. Why would I drop that joke? Seinfeld and Kerry Hoffman both love.
Restructure that joke.
I got to restructure. I'm going to put in my notes right now.
Yes.
Here, Q-tip. Yes, because that's crazy. Sometimes you have bits, like I have this Wendy's bit, where I say Biggie all the time, and I dropped it, years ago. I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. It's over. It's old. And that joke is the only joke I ever had where people would actually recall it and say to me, hey, Biggie, and it hit me one day at a bank. I was on the bank back in the day when you go in banks, and I was online. The guy goes, Biggie, some stranger. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing not doing that joke? It's the only thing in my act people remember, and I'm not doing it. So I brought it back, even though I feel like it's time to go again.
It's good to have it in your quiver and sharpen them once in a while.
My Robin quivers, no doubt.
Yeah.
What else you got? What
I had in Atlantic City, at the Comedy Stop at Atlantic City. I had a woman come in with her boyfriend, and they came back to see me, and she actually gifted me a Yankee Candle at the end of my show. But she came there to see the Yankee Candle bit that I do in my act, and I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
How did she know the bit? Did she see you on TV do it, or was it
they saw me at that club like a year earlier.
Oh, well, that's kind of good though that you didn't do it, because then a year later she's like, oh, he doesn't even do it anymore. He's got so much material. You know what I mean? As opposed to see a year later and be like,
well, they were disappointed that they came specifically to see that bit, and she goes, I'm going to give you the candle anyways. Interesting.
Nice. That's nice. And a gift I remember working with Bobby Collins, and he was doing the salsa bit. He had a bit about salsa and his dog dancing and eating salsa. And people would make homemade salsa and bring it to him. And Bobby's very good with kissing ass and being a phony. A good guy. I don't mean a phony, but he can put it on.
He can play the game.
Yeah. But he'd be like, my God, thank you so much. He's hugging the people and pictures, and then he'd be like, in the green room going, throw this shit out, would you please? He goes, who knows what the fuck they put in it?
Sure. Squeeze one off in it.
It was great. It was that classic
ingredient.
Yeah. Well, John Fox, on the road. Remember the legend Pat Godwin? If he's a former guest of ours on the pod, and go to YouTube if you're listening, if you like comedy. Pat Godwin put in the John Fox song or The Legend of John Fox is the song. Put that in YouTube and enjoy it. Pat singing about the famed road comic John Fox, who liked to masturbate into the in the comedy condo and then leave it in the fridge for the next poor young comic who
get out to YouTube.
Bought some ham and some bread.
One of his opening jokes, I remember when I worked with him in Atlantic City, same club, the Comedy Stop. Last time I had a piece of ass, my finger poked through the toilet paper.
Comedy was different in the 90s, kids. Believe it was a different time. Last time I saw him, we were in Vegas working together. He came off stage and vomited blood into a trash can and then went straight to his room. I go, "You all right?" He goes, "Yeah, why?" No reason.
Well,
there's a puddle of blood in the trash
alcoholic.
can.
I just watched a little bit of Leaving Las Vegas with Nicolas Cage. And it was about, you don't want to live with a drunk. I'm just going to be throwing up all day. And there's a lot of throwing up. And
if you like that movie, you should read the book. I hate to be one of those people.
You should read the book. Became one of those people.
Well, the book is the guy who wrote the book is the guy Nicolas Cage is playing. He wrote it as a diary. He's like, I'm leaving my job in LA. I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to drink myself to death.
Screenwriter.
Right. And he writes the diary. And then after he's dead, his sister found the diary and published it. And then, they bought it as a movie. But it's amazing because it's not, they've changed things, but he meets the hooker and he's living with her in her house. But he's writing like, I don't know what, I think she might be falling in love with me, but he's like, I'm going to be dead in 30 days. That's the goal.
Right.
This guy was insane. He really wanted to just drink himself to death. That was the goal.
And in the movie, Elizabeth Shue played the hooker, and she was fantastic.
Great. Oh, she was fantastic. Amazing that she got a movie like that because she was always like in kid movies.
She played the Babysitter movie. That was her breakout film.
That was it. Right.
The Babysitter.
So to cast her as the hooker, that was really brave of whoever did it, and it was great. She was fantastic. Which shows you too, I think, if you're a good actor or actress and you have the right director and the script, you're good.
Yeah.
Most people who are good are going to be good.
Paul Newman said, if you have a good script, a good actor, and a good director, you can make a great film. You have a chance of making a great film.
You have a chance.
Yeah. Well, Cillian Murphy, who's big now from Peaky Blinders and, of course, Oppenheimer, he says it's a miracle to make a movie. It's just a miracle to get it completed. And Oppenheimer is multiple miracles.
Well, it helps when you're buddies with Christopher Nolan, I think. It helps a little bit.
Well, but to get him, he was saying, to get me attached to this project with Christopher Nolan and the script, and he lost 28 pounds to play it.
Nice.
You know what I like about him?
How to pronounce
you know what I like about him? He's been, for 3 decades, he's been pretty active. He still lives in his little village in Cork, like just outside of Cork, and he goes to his pub and hangs out. He'll finish a movie and he goes there. He goes to his pub, has pints with his pals, music, hanging out. Really cool dude.
That's the way to do it. Yeah, good for him. I don't know the pronunciation of his name. I'm always
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian
Murphy. Is it Killian?
That's correct.
Is it Killian?
I think it might be Killian. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not positive. So I'm not saying, hey, you're wrong. I'm just
it's not Cillian.
I think it's, I don't know. I've heard people say Killian, but then other people say that's not the pronunciation either. So I'm like, I don't know what this fucker's name is. But he's good. And he's got very blue eyes.
Yes.
Did you remember him in one of the movies, Nolan movies? And it was, those eyes were like
Dunkirk.
Those eyes were like ridiculous.
That's definitely opened up things for him.
Nolan did I think I'm wrong here.
Batman.
Did Nolan do he did Batman.
Murphy was in
Scarecrow.
That. Yeah,
he played Scarecrow.
Yeah.
He was in consideration for Batman.
Yes.
And then Bale got in, gave him Scarecrow. But am I wrong on this? Nolan, was he the one who directed The Prestige, the movie with the 2 magicians?
I think so.
Hugh Jackman and Bale.
I believe so. You want me to find out right now?
Yeah. Hesgar producer.
Okay.
His phone's
Hold on.
dead.
What is the movie again? What is it? The title?
Prestige.
Yeah.
The Prestige.
Who directed the movie The Prestige? Christopher Nolan.
Dead air.
Boop,
Boom.
Boop, boop.
That's it. It's crazy. That movie's great. And that was like a throwaway movie for him in between big movies.
Yeah.
Let's make my little movie here. And it's like, holy shit, this movie's
really
fantastic. Good. Although the ending, I don't care for it. But, the whole time Tesla's making a clone machine. That's the whole point of the film. Spoiler alert.
Oh.
But if you didn't see this movie from 1998, But all right. So anyway, that's it for, let's see. I did Radio City Seinfeld. And then I would also put it in my first time in Vegas was memorable. I worked with Gary Delina was the headliner, and Richie Minervini was the middle act.
Holy shit.
And I was the MC. And by day 4, Gary didn't feel well. So he said to Richie, how about you close and I'll middle? And they told me, you'll bring up Gary middle and Richie close. I said, okay. So I went up and I did my 10 minutes or whatever. And then I brought on Gary in the middle, and what was her name? Bob's wife. I'm blanking. Bob's ex-wife who ran the club.
Oh, right. His business partner. Yeah. Her.
Yeah, I forget her name right. Norma came running down that hall at the Tropicana. There was no green room like there is now. She just came running down that hall, screaming at me, "What are you doing?" It was my first time. I've been there 3 days. She doesn't know who I am. And I go, what? I made the move. I decided I'll put Gary in second. So I go, I don't know. What am I doing? She goes, what the fuck? Why is Gary Delana middling? I said, because he doesn't feel well and he asked me to bring him up. No, you guys don't change the show. I just stood there getting yelled at.
Listen, cunt.
Yes.
I know you're the fucking paycheck and the fucking owner's fucking wife, but hey, use your fucking noggin.
It's like you were there. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I just stood there and cried, I think. I don't know what I did.
Of course, you're like,
I'm sorry. And then Gary went to bed. He was sick. And then Richie took me out that night and saw Cookie Jar. That was my first time seeing Cookie Jar and the Crumbs.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Now, Cookie Jar was he was a staple of the Vegas Strip, and he would do karaoke, right?
Professional karaoke.
He would sing and he would draw a crowd, and he was like this 60-year-old guy with a black straight wig, and he wore gold chains.
Yeah.
And he was a spectacle, and people would get hammered and come down and fucking watch him, and he would kill it, man.
When I saw him, that was 92 or so, 93. But he had 2 other guys with him. He had a bass player and then a guy like a DJ, and they were the Crumbs. And he was Cook, C-O-O-K, period, E, period, Jar. And then as time went on, the gigs got worse, and he got rid of those 2 guys, and he was just Cookie Jar, and that was kind of karaoke,
right,
for him. But Richie knew him well, so after one of the shows, he goes, "Hey, come outside with us." To Richie and me, come outside, and so we go in this old we hit an old Lincoln, and we got in the Lincoln, and he whipped off his wig, and he's fucking bald, and he just turned into an 80-year-old man. He just rolled a joint on his lap, and he's like, "These crowds suck nowadays, don't they?" Like, what the fuck? He looked like Rickles suddenly.
He was leaving Las Vegas. Isn't it amazing when you get a look behind the curtain like that? Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Exactly.
Wow.
And by the way, we saw that on Icon. Wizard of Oz is on Icon. They do a hell of a job, man. It's really good. Really a good show.
The 1939 version?
Yeah. Flying monkeys and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Louis C.K.'s father watching The Wizard of Oz with him when he was a kid. That's bullshit. Monkeys can't fly. Ruins the whole thing for the kid.
Oh my god! Well, I'm out. My notes are.
You did well. I know you did well. I came out of a coma, and
you got through. Yeah. Well, you got off the ship at what time this morning? What time they boot you off?
Well, the announcement came on over my head from the speaker at 7:45. I was in a coma then.
You might be sickly, sir. Something could be wrong.
No. How are you feeling, by the way?
I'm about 95% recovered.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
Good for you. Yeah.
But it was one of those colds that it was each day was its own, like one day was a box of tissues, just fucking drainage. The next day, the throat hurt. The next day, the headache. It was like each day had its own little thing.
Yeah, you had 3
and
different
then yesterday
COVIDs.
was pretty good.
3 different COVIDs.
I might have had the vid. It's very possible. It's very,
well, the CDC just
but...
announced that there's no longer a 5-day quarantine, just a day
go fuck yourself.
and or 2. And if you don't have a headache or a temperature, go back to work.
Get back to work. I was watching a clip from 2009. Jesse Ventura, remember Jesse, governor of Minnesota, ex-wrestler? He had a show in 2009 on Fox. It was about conspiracy theories. And he has a lady on there, and she says, you know what they're going to do? They're going to close the country down because everyone's going to need a vaccination. And until that's come, they're going to close it all down. He's like, get out of here. And she's like, no, they'll say it's a worldwide pandemic, a flu. And they're going to lock everyone down until they can get this vaccine that you're going to have to get. That was 2009.
But it started overseas. Do you think it started in that lab in Wuhan?
Yeah, somebody
being funded by the Americans.
Somebody ate a bat. Yeah. Okay. Good. Sure. Yeah. From the Wuhan lab.
Hey, I'm gonna go to Zarella's Italian
this guy
and have dinner.
All right.
What did you have when you were there? Do you remember the meal?
No, but knowing me, if I go into an Italian joint unknown, I'm going with a chicken parm.
That's a go-to for me, but I'm going to do the carbonara. I'm going to do the carbonara.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have a glass of red wine with that. How do you feel about carbonara with a Montepulciano?
I like it.
Would you do the white?
No. Italian joint, I go red anyway. I go with a cocktail and then red wine.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do exactly that.
There you go.
And I have 2 days here, and I'm going to need it in this town.
Woo. Well, I hooked you up with, I'm telling you, man, Smoke Rings, one of the better cigar lounges in Florida, even. And Florida's known for them.
Okay. Can I walk to it?
No. You cannot walk to it.
See, I have an issue with taking a $20 Uber each way, $40 to go to a cigar. That's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, but you're getting 2-3 hours in the beautiful lounge, great coffee bar, full bar. You have a day off. I mean, what the hell? I'd be there. I would be there at 10 in the morning till 6 at night.
Well, that's you. You got a problem. You got a problem.
Oh, is that a problem? That sounds fucking delightful.
Your girlfriend has a crippling gambling addiction, and you have an addiction to cigars and cigar lounges.
That's why we're fucking broke, and she's got 2 busted up hands. Things are going well right now.
Oh dear Lord!
But yeah, I would take it, do it. No, during the day in Canaveral, I bet that Uber is going to be fucking $15 max. And there's an Arby's across the street. You get a nice beef and cheddar, and you go have a cocktail, smoke a stick. You sit in a big lounge.
Can you bring the food in?
I did. It's a good question. I
would
say
you didn't
yes.
do it. Okay.
I did. No, we did
at the cathedral. Yes. We did that in Tampa.
No, I was there with Greg Vaccarella, and he went to the Domino's and brought a pizza back in. So yes, you can bring food in.
Non-issue.
Non-issue. Yeah.
Did he ask in advance or just walk in?
No, he said, "Is there anywhere to get food around here?" And they said, "Yeah, Domino's." And they pointed.
Oh, okay.
So he went over and got it. And if you go, there's a cigar club. Let me know. Don't have to let me know. Just put in, if they go, are you a member? Put in my phone number, and you get a little discount there on your purchases.
10%, 15%.
It's at least 10.
All right.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah. Phanks for the heads up. Put in your number.
Hooking you up, man.
And he'll say,
food,
"Are you
cigars,
Al?" And I'll be
discount.
like, "Yes, I am. I'm Al."
Yeah, that's right.
Are you Betty?
Actually, I get 20% there because I get 10% from my phone I mean, my member, and I get 10% because I served in the military. So thank me for my service, and I give me 10%.
Best 4 years of your life.
That's right.
The story Romas told me, he goes, I was in the Navy. We were sleeping in bunk beds. We were like a foot apart from one another. Some guy's ass is over my head. We were shitting in the latrine that was covered with shit. You had to scoop it to the side to take your own shit. Best 4 years of my life. Made me a man.
Those are memorable experiences. They weren't in comedy, but that was a memorable one. Yes,
we were on Shirley. We'd get drunk.
A grown man's big naked legs swinging over your bunk and having him ask you if there's any, if you got any shit paper. That's one you don't forget.
Yes.
You got any shit paper? I don't. No, I don't. Okay. Jesus Christ.
Disgusting.
But yeah, man. Enjoy your meal, and we'll see you next time. On 2 L's.
Multiple
So long, man. Have a good trip. F*** you.
Iceberg, dead ahead. Don't forget to review us and rate us. It really helps.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
Patreon.com/The2Dicks, which is named after our web series.
This is the 2 Al's 1 Pod podcast.
Thanks for tuning in.
What?
Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
Okay, sure.
All right. Subscribe. Mary. This was a horrible mistake.
Go to patreon.com/forwardthe2dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.